Welcome back here again with another Bundesliga fantasy review. I hope you have enjoyed this midweek football going straight from the weekend. I know I've enjoyed the quick and fast-paced turnaround. If you are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's get straight into it. So the first set of games we saw the Classico, Borussia Dortmund versus FC Bayern Munich. This was poised to be one of the biggest games of the season and really the title decider. It was a very good game, plenty of early shots going through, Boateng saving a shot from Haaland off the line, and then on the other end, another off the line clearance. And in the end, a bit of an unorthodox goal actually won the game. Kimmich with a chip from outside the box, maybe a bit of a goalkeeping error, but Bayern Munich took the game 1-0. Dortmund couldn't really respond in the end and just lacked that clinical ability up front. Then we moved into the Werder Bremen at Borussia Mönchengladbach, and in my preview I was saying that I expected Borussia Mönchengladbach to win this game and potentially win it quite heavily. However, Werder Bremen held out, they defended well, and it was a 0-0 at the end, which was a bit of a shame for my fantasy. But yeah, and we move on to the Bayer Leverkusen-Wolfsburg game, and we saw Wolfsburg, after they've been pretty poor since returning, absolutely sweep away Leverkusen. Maybe we saw a few sort of tired legs from Leverkusen, as it was almost the same team at the start of the game at the weekend, and they didn't really have much to respond from They didn't really have anything to respond to Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg getting a few set-piece goals, which really just sort of tore apart Leverkusen, and that game ended 4-1. Now, Frankfurt versus Freiburg, what a game this was. Two early goals set the game up very nicely as a 1-1, and then Freiburg in the space of about 10 minutes scored another two goals to make it 3-1. They thought they were home and dry, and then Frankfurt came away and then scored another two goals to make this game 3-3. What an exciting game that was. And on to the RB Leipzig versus Hertha Berlin game. Now this was a very interesting one because at the start, Leipzig did look quite in control of this game, even though Hertha Berlin did end up actually taking the early lead from a corner through Grujic and Plattenhurt going off injured straight away. and then Leipzig responded with two nice goals of their own. Schick scoring from outside of the box with a bit of a weird goal because the goalkeeper caught it and then chucked it straight back into his own net. Bit of a howler. And then Hertha Berlin came in the end with a penalty, a bit of a contentious one, potentially a bit of a dive, but there was some contact there and it was given as a penalty. And after Haustenberg had previously just been sent off, Leipzig were down to 10 men and couldn't really do much more after that. So into the second set of fixtures, we saw in this set of fixtures the trend of the away teams actually finally getting broken. Hoffenheim versus Cologne, Hoffenheim winning 3-1. Quite an easy fixture for them. Augsburg Paderborn, and yet another draw for Paderborn. They are just holding in for their lives at that bottom position. Then the FC Union Berlin versus Mainz, reasonably tame game, two early goals, and then not much more really happened in that game. Düsseldorf versus Schalke, I watched this game, very interesting one. Schalke went 1-0 up with a lovely header, and then Düsseldorf just sort of, they fought their way back into it. I thought the commentating was quite harsh on the goalkeeper Schubert. The first one you can maybe argue was a goalkeeping error, but he made a fantastic save to get across, and then really you could argue that it's a defensive error. And in the second, the second goal, there's not really much he could do. The player's got a tap in on the line, and if he doesn't score, if the keeper save that, it's a world class save. So a bit harsh there, but a bit harsh there on the goalkeeper. Blame that all on him. However, Schalke definitely have some defensive improvements to be made. 2 goals from 2 set pieces. It's just not good enough from their perspective. So how did these games affect the fantasy? Well, as you can see here, not the best week. I mean, I was saying on my first week that I didn't think I had the greatest of week. Now we move on to this week where I think I totaled around about 45 points. An absolute howler. You may remember in the preview that I actually captained Angelino and Havertz. I realised that you can actually change your captain sort of halfway through the game week. If a player hasn't already played, you can then put the captain onto them. Didn't realise that, and I figured that out, so I managed to put in Kunku on the captaincy spot and get Zimmerman on the captaincy spot just to salvage a few points. Now you may be wondering why the right back spot isn't filled. That's because I realised Kattebat wasn't playing and I tried to remove him to replace him, but obviously it was the last game So I wasn't able to do that. But either way, he would have got 0 points. So that blank there, just, it would have been 0 points anyway. Angelino, an unfortunate one. He came on, got a couple of points, then got a yellow card, so those points just got wiped off. Timo Horn, I mean, I'm just glad that he didn't end up getting minus points, to be honest, because at a point in that Cologne game, he was on minus 4 points. So, just getting a 1 point from him, that salvages, I've netted 5 points there. Even though it's only 1 point, at least he's not minus 4. We'll take a look. Hakimi had an okay game. He has some duels won, which is why he got 4 points. They were on the losing side though, so he didn't really do much. Zimmerman, they were the winning team, had some duels won, so he was the best captaincy option there. Gnabry, Havertz and Nkunku. I mean, Nkunku was the only player in my team that actually got an attacking contribution with 1 assist. It's a shame that he didn't really carry on and play a bit more of the game. He came off in the 66th minute, so he didn't actually get that extra point for playing 70 minutes. And I think the Leipzig manager is probably worrying at taking Werner and Nkunku off so early, because then Hertha Berlin did end up scoring, and Leipzig didn't have any kind of firepower up front to really put up a fight to win that game. Gnabry once again is coming in with some nice shot points. He's just kind of ticking by, and I expect soon enough we'll see a big haul from him. Havertz, unfortunately, after bringing him in after 2 braces, only goes and gets 5 points. But that's just the way it is. Everyone else in my league brought him in, so it's not really too bad. Now the attack is where the disappointing part of the weekend really was. I mean, Timo Werner on the captain, he only got 2 base points, so he got 3 points as a captain. Marcus Thuram and Alessandro Plea coming in with 4 and 3 points respectively. Quite unfortunate they couldn't even get a goal, not a single attacking contribution for them. Away to Werder Bremen, with how the Bundesliga has been since the return from the break. All the away teams have really been sweeping aside the home team, so I was really kind of backing Borussia Mönchengladbach here to go and get a few goals or even just 1 attacking contribution from one of them, but it wasn't to be. So we ended up on 45 points, and some definite changes that need to be made. Kimmich really hurt me this weekend. Once again, I say it every week since I've been playing this, that Kimmich is a guy I've got to try and get in. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to this week, because we get the 3 transfers, which is very nice, but then we can't do any more after that. So, I really want to move a few more players around before I try and get Kimmich in, because it would mean I'd have to get rid of the likes of Havertz, or I could, I guess, get rid of, Thuram and Angelino just to get Kimmich in, but that would leave me with an even worse sort of overall team. And now that, as I mentioned, Haustenberg has been red carded, we are more likely to see Angelino get played at the weekend. But I hope you have enjoyed this little review. I've tried to keep it concise as normal, not the best of weeks, but we go again, and I'll be uploading a preview tomorrow at 6 p.m. So make sure you catch that. Cheerio.